fields of innovation and sustainability where technology meets the soil. Very exciting to have on the line Yolanda Maphalala. She's joining me as the founder and CEO of Isithelo, Esihle, Ecological Farm. They are based in Bergville in the KwaZulu-Natal province here in South Africa. So Yolanda is an agricultural economist by profession, and she's got a passion for ecological farming, agri tech innovation that she's also starting to explore as she opens space for this business and this farm to thrive, and of course community empowerment, which is really at the heart of the work. Through the work that she does, she's not only cultivating nutritious crops like soybeans, for example, vegetables, but also she's planting seeds of change, which is wonderful to witness. And she's participating in helping rural families grow their own food and embrace sustainable living. So wonderful to catch up with her. I know we've had this conversation, but I think there's so much more to explore at this time. Yolanda, welcome back to Channel Africa. Pleasure to talk to you this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. And thank you for the second opportunity to have this conversation.
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank you for your patience and for your grace. It's been crazy, but thank you very much. Let's talk about, let's go back and really talk about the establishment of Isithelo Esihle as an ecological farm. What is, because everybody starts farm spaces for different reasons. So this is a very important question as we try to establish why you started this ecological farm.
Okay, so what I was I've been an agricultural economist for quite some time, but during my studies, a lot of the work required, it was theory based, and I just wanted to know what does it actually take before we get to the paperwork or the theory or executing deals and so on. How does a farmer actually work and the day to day of a farmer, and how can I best help them as an agricultural economist? So that's where the spark for farming came about. And then luckily in my community in Bergville, there was an established farmer who wanted to encourage youth, because it's just a very big goal or a very big key element in my community to assist youth, especially to motivate them to come into farming and to actually like farming and understand farming. That is, it's not as it's not as bad as people make it seem, or just to remove the horrible stereotypes of if you're a farmer, maybe you're gonna struggle and it's just dirt and it's this and it's that, but just to change the perspective of it. So when it started off, before starting Isithelo Esihle, I had that curiosity of how is it to actually be a farmer and how does it go about. So the farmer who was established collected youth and wanted us to create a co-op, whereby when we created the co-op, obviously we had different interests. I was more interested in grains, others were interested in poultry and livestock and so on. So then obviously we separated within the co-op, but my love for farming still continued, and the others continued doing their own thing, but I still wanted to cultivate soybeans. So then that's how, when I separated, that's when I started a Isithelo Esihle Ecological Farm, whereby I said, I understand that most farmers, you would obviously want to be profitable, but sometimes we do it at all costs and we don't look out for the land that we're using. I'm sure you've heard so many times or in so many conversations that a farm is being sold or the land is being sold because you can no longer plant in it because of the nutrients being depleted. So I wanted to change this model and say that I am starting a farm. I'm young, obviously I still have to learn a lot, but I want to ensure that I give back to the land that is giving me all of these nutritious, good and fresh produce. So that's how it came about. It came about in a curious agricultural economist student who was lucky enough to meet a mentor who wanted to get youth into agriculture, and I was just quite passionate, and I wanted to change the model of how farming actually works and give back to the land and ensure that maybe 10 or 50 years or 100 years from now, someone else can still use the land that I was using to continue farming, because it still has the good nutrition that brings about your soybean, your vegetables, and so on.
That is wonderful, Yolanda. So beautiful. And also, I really admire, I've always admired how you take your agricultural economy studies and work and research into the ecological farming space, and and it's really, you understand this holistically, which is such a beautiful thing to note, that it's not just about the soil being the gold, but how can we maintain that for generations to come. Let's talk about, actually, let's veer off a little bit from the actual business, but talk about the genesis of you starting this farm. You mentioned you're a young person, you're a woman, you identified one or two problems that you wanted to solve for another individual, but also, kind of hypothesizing around your participation in that problem solving. How did you acquire the land to start the ecological farm, which is something that a lot of young Black women are battling with or are lacking information in at this time?
So when it comes to the land, I was very blessed that my family did have land.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the land that I said that, I want to actually use this land. So my great-grandfather was a farmer, but then obviously his children deviated from it because obviously for them it was more of a chore that we have to go to the field or to the farm and make sure that maybe we're doing pest control, we're planting and all of that. So I do feel that for them it felt a bit tedious, and maybe the love fell out a bit. So then they left the land and they didn't use it. And then me, the great grandchild, was like, I actually really want to go into agriculture and I want to actually start farming because it just really links with my overall vision and my overall goal. So I've been using family land. It's 20 hectares currently. We are still currently working on getting more land, but right now I'm cultivating 2 hectares of land because I don't believe in, because I have 20 hectares, I have to plant all 20 hectares. I want to master the current product that I'm planting, and then I can plant more land, because it will feel a bit useless to plant all 20 hectares and I'm not getting the maximum yield and quality. But if I can start small and grow further, it'll be much easier. So it's been family land all along, and I would like to continue to expand because there are quite a number of ideas and dreams and goals that I would like to achieve within the enterprise.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. Yolanda, joining us on the line, she is an agricultural economist and also the Chief Executive Officer of Esihle, Ecological Farm in the KZN region, in Bergville, to be precise. Yolanda, let's talk about, in you trying to grow this baby that we are seeing, your ecological farm, and also bringing other people into the fore and growing with them. Integration of technology like drone and sensory technology. How are you using that? Have you started with that? And also, how is it shaping your approach to farming?
So with the interest, I just want to go back a bit. I think I've shared it in the past. My interest when it comes to drones and sensory on machine learning, I actually did my honors year. I did my research. My thesis was on precision agriculture and drone sensory sensors and machine learning. And my interest grew because I saw that this particular technology fits perfectly into sustainable agriculture. And then I continued. Then I joined a program called Metropolitan Collective Shapers, where I met one of the contestants who actually use drones for their farming practice. So then I did a bit more research. So now I did the research, but then now I actually want to involve this in my enterprise. It is quite pricey, and I think that's one main part that's actually holding us back. That a drone, most of them are over 100,000 rand each, and obviously you have to get this necessary certification, which is not necessarily an issue because you just train and then you pay the certain fee of getting the certification to manage the drone. But we are working. I can say that we are working in collaboration with some of the farmers, or one of the contestants that I made through Metropolitan Collective Shapers, to actually bring drones. For example, drone spraying, which seems to be a very good thing right now for the farmers within my community in Bergville, because we do have a very serious weed problem where we need to control that without actually wasting the water or having chemical runoff and so on. So we are working in collaboration, obviously for a fee and also in small portions, until I can actually say that Esihle can can use this technology on its own, on their own, and consume it, and also give out the services to other farmers or neighboring towns. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that sounds exciting. And also very generous in terms of how, sort of drone technology, I want to say, can really help to maximize. And I think as an economist, you'd agree with me that going into modern agriculture requires a sort of intervention, as it were. Talk to me about the economics of agriculture as we see it. Of course, you have mentioned the soybeans, the vegetables, and all the other crops that you're growing on your ecological farm. Let's talk about access to market. I think we did address this the last time, for the interest of those that haven't heard the conversation. Access to market, so you've done everything foundationally correct. How do you then access markets and open up space for economic development and growth, as it were?
So right now, that is a very big issue right now when it comes to a lot of farmers. And in my time when I was part of the Metropolitan Collective Shapers, I was exposed to a very large community of farmers where we got to change different ideas and share our struggles and obviously come up with solutions. And access to markets is not just an issue for farmers in Bergville or just in KZN. It seems to be a national problem that we currently facing. And in one of those conversations that we've had with other farmers, and I came up with an idea that we can actually become an aggregator at Esihle Ecological Farm, which is something that we're actively working towards, where a lot of we've seen it's so heartbreaking seeing farmers. One of the farmers actually shared that they planted over 1,000 cabbages, but now they can't sell all of them off. They only were able to sell like 30%, and the remaining 70% is left over. And obviously, because it's a vegetable, it's not soybean, it spoils easily. So now they were selling off each cabbage, which was a very, very big head of a cabbage for 5 rand, just to get it out, just so that it doesn't get spoiled. So now they're not even focusing on breaking even and so on. They just want to get the product out. So now, being an aggregator, then us at Esihle, we buy that particular produce that you have produced. Obviously, it has to meet the required standards. It has to not have a certain level of chemicals, not too much, because then obviously if it's too much, then it's not sustainable anymore.
Right.
And then we also have to be of a certain quality. Then we go out to the market. So, for example, we're currently trying in conversations with the Johannesburg Fresh Produce Market to allow us to say that we have an X amount of cabbages or carrots or potatoes from farmers from this particular community, and this is how much we're selling it for. We're also having conversations with certain retail outlets, for example, Spar in Bergville. They've been quite helpful, and they've also opened a different markets where a lot of the farmers outside were planting your cabbages, your potatoes, but now Sparks said that we actually want cauliflower. Not a lot of people are planting cauliflower, and that's what we want. So now we have people who were scared of planting because now they say, I love vegetables, but I can't plant them because I don't know where to sell them, and I just feel like I'm going to make a loss. But now we've opened the door to say that no, you can come to us. We'll do the negotiating so that you don't get exploited, maybe by the middleman and so on and so forth. Because some of them, they really do struggle with negotiating prices. A lot of farmers negotiate from a place of fear, because I don't want to say that my price is 15 rand per cabbage, but then and then you say that no, that's too much for me, I'm not taking it. And then now, if you're not taking it, what am I going to do? So we try to remove that, but also trying to say that you mustn't be scared to say no to certain contracts or deals, because at the end of the day, we're running a business. So we have given them that kind of access to markets, and we're trying to work with other fresh produce markets, and also in a way that we also want to create we taking certain products to certain areas like fresh produce markets here in Johannesburg, and then we're also trying to work with one in Pietermaritzburg and in Durban, and also the exporting some of the goods. but also it takes some time, and we also need them to plant at a bigger scale to be able to meet certain demands. So those are the initiatives that we have tried, because we don't believe that sometimes you want opportunities but you don't get them, but you have to come back and go back to the drawing board and say, how can I create these opportunities for myself and community, and just not be discouraged by the number of no, or we cannot do it right now, or that's not in the direction we want to go. So that's what we are currently doing. So we also urge other farmers who want to participate, or come in and say that, this is what I'm planting and this is the quality, because obviously we will do the necessary tests, because we don't want to sell something just for the sake of selling it. I want to give people quality produce that is not harmful or infested, has too many chemicals, and ensure that when we say that, oh, I bought lettuce from Esihle, and you know that wherever we got it from, or whichever farmer we sourced it from, you can feel confident that this is quality produce. And I trust and believe that it has been farmed or produced sustainably.
Those are all very, common problems, and I like that you are very solution based when it comes to tackling them. Okay, so this is not working. What else can we do? Talk to me about just your opinion, your thoughts and opinions, Yolanda, around the space of. I mean, we're going back to technology here. There are apps now being created to kind of connect the farmer to the market, if you will. What are your thoughts on the progression of that? And do you see that as something that can pick up successfully and assist the farmer? Because if we've got a piece of technology that can very quickly connect me with a cabbage farmer, for example, to use the example that you made, I need 500 cabbages in the next hour and a half. Can you get them to me? Type of solution. What are your thoughts on using apps and connecting business to market and vice versa in that manner?
It works. We have explored quite a number of apps and companies that obviously use like software to source those particular goods. I can say that it's 50-50. It's not 100% concept yet. It obviously does need refining because it's a new concept,
Yeah.
So we don't expect everything to be perfect now in first hand. But what I've also experienced is that it's not as inclusive as we would like it to be. Most of the applications like that they support commercial farmers. So farmers who are farming maybe, let's say, over 30 or 50 hectares of land, and they can produce let's say thousands if not hundreds of thousands or maybe say 10 or 20 tons of a particular product. And smaller farmers or smallholder farmers who are not yet commercial, but they're trying and they're really doing their best and they're producing quality produce, they close out, because you find that a lot of those applications, they work with bigger companies, they work with very big companies that need a large quantity. And it's understandable because if you need, let's say you creating let's say you're making tomato sauce. Obviously, I'm going to need, let's say per bottle, I'm going to need at least 50 or 100 tomatoes in one bottle. It doesn't make it won't help them to work with smaller farmer that produces, let's say, not even a quarter or not even half of what I actually need. But then I feel like the programs or the applications can be refined to assist smaller farmers, not to close out everyone, to include every farmer. And where there are gaps, allow them, train them, and provide solutions that, okay, you have 5 hectares and you produce really good quality. I want you to work with this farmer that has a hectare or 2 hectares to produce quality tomatoes like you do. Maybe even if sometimes, for a fee or for a certain benefit that will assist the farmer that is able to produce this particular amount. And then when we come to collect the tomatoes, I want all of you to come, or I want you all to combine your produce, and then we'll take it like that. So then I think that can help, and it can include more farmers. So small, medium, large farmers, it can work. But that has been this biggest challenge so far is that most of these applications, as much as they want a lot, but some farmers can't produce that much because they're limited to land. And just like you mentioned earlier, land is a very serious issue. We have so many people who have the potential and who are willing, but they just do not have the resources or the infrastructure to do so. So if we can maybe get those applications or that software to collaborate more and to have a community of farmers that, okay, we know that these ones are commercial and they have half of the things that they need or majority of the things they need very little support from us, mostly like an offtake agreement, and then we take it to market. These ones need a bit more assistance. Don't close them off, because it also contributes a very big percentage when we look at the overall statistics of how of agriculture and how is it performing at the end of the year or at the end of the season. So make it a bit more inclusive, because it's really most of them they're not. And I understand every company has a target in their goals, but if you can include everyone, give them necessary skills or training. If they say there's a shortage of machinery, because I think I don't want to mention the name of the software, because it'll be like I'm disregarding the software. But some of them, when applying, they want to know if you have a tractor, do you have a storage room, do you have all of these things. And most of the farmers, most smaller farmers, they lease those products out when they harvest or when they need them. So then automatically, if I say I can have a tractor, then it's like, oh, okay, no, thank you, we can't work with you. But then you find that person was going to make means to actually meet what you need, or they were going to collaborate. They were willing, to go the extra mile so that they can make the business relationship work, but it automatically closes them off.
The challenges are many, but the solutions are just as many. Yolanda, you mentioned how you came across the Metropolitan Collective Shapers program through online platforms. As we wrap up our conversations, let's talk about how how would you encourage other young people like yourself, especially young women, young Black women in South Africa, who want to access spaces that can assist financially or with other building or capacity building mechanizations like mentorship or whatever it is. How would you encourage them to look out for opportunities like the one that you were afforded by Metropolitan?
So definitely being available on different social media platforms, because Metropolitan Collective Shapers was advertised on all the different platforms. Also being in a community of whatever industry that you're in. So I know that this year they're doing logistics and agriculture. So obviously when you are in a community of, let's say, young businesswomen or businessmen who are in that industry, you will hear about it. And also, more than anything, when you get the opportunity, when you get the opportunity to be part of Metropolitan Collective Shapers, every single day, every single session, please put your best foot forward. Really put your best foot forward out there and continue to give your best. Ask questions. If you are curious or you have an idea, share it with other people. You'll be so amazed on how many throughout the seasons and the stories that I've heard from before my season, a lot of them would share that they actually collaborated and a beautiful product came out of the individual mates from Metropolitan Collective Shapers. Even from our season, we have I think 2 or 3 farmers who have collaborated on a very beautiful product that will be shared obviously when they are ready, but that will be beneficial not just for their business but for a lot of people within the community. So ask a lot of questions and just continue to be curious. Go on LinkedIn, follow their page, check what are they up to, what are they doing, what kind of opportunities are on the way. And then also just we have AI now. So let's say you can't find the program, or you try to apply for Metropolitan Collective Shapers or only hearing about it today. Go on AI or ChatGPT and say programs that are similar that I can, access or, you have
Yeah.
you have access to us through social media. Ask us about it, maybe about the next season, because I think we continuously encourage individuals to be part of this program because it has changed a lot of our lives. And when it comes to also accessing finance, I think Metropolitan wouldn't want to sort of in our previous season, they give you the opportunity or give you that financial assistance because they see that you're very serious about what you're doing and you believe in it and you are going to scale it and continue to build it. So believe in your enterprise and just make sure that your vision is clear. You can always refine it as time goes by or the more conversations you have with people. But just continuously just bring in your A game every single day, and in every conversation you have with people. Don't be too scared of sharing your ideas or your goals or where your business wants to go, because sometimes we get so scared that, oh, somebody might take my idea. But that's something I learned from Metropolitan Collective Shapers, is that as much as someone can execute a very similar idea to yours, they can never execute it exactly how you want it to be, how you want,
100%.
because it's your idea at the end of the day. So share your ideas, ask a lot of questions, be curious, go on the social media pages, look it up, check for similar programs, and if there's funding that is available, make sure that you meet all the requirements. Don't just apply for the sake of applying. Make sure that you stand out each and every time.
That is the best advice. I'm so glad I asked you that. It's such a wonderful response, and I would love for us to share that clipping on social media for the young people that follow this program so that they can hear what you have to say. But I continue to commend you, Yolanda, because I think you have one of the most unique approaches to blending a focus on entrepreneurship and community transformation. It is just so beautiful to witness, and I wish you all the best. I think the next time we speak, you're going to be a multi-award winning agriculturalist. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate the opportunity and the compliments. Thank you.
You are most welcome.